Another entry in extreme weather and science in the news. This was linked to me via a post by a friend of mine who's a meteorologist, Matt Lanza, on his Twitter feed today, which is May 23rd. He said this is just an interesting article he came across, and I do find it interesting. It's in the publication Lancet, which is it's a well-known and well-respected medical publication. They publish peer-reviewed studies and things like that related to medical issues. In any event, this was titled Mental Health Impacts from Repeated Climate Disasters and Australian Longitudinal Analysis. But just to kind of in a nutshell, here's a little summary. Extreme weather, I'll read it off the background summary. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and intense under changing climatic conditions. Whilst there is substantial evidence that exposure to a single weather-related disaster can be detrimental for mental health, few studies have explored how exposure to multiple disasters impacts mental health. Going down here under findings, exposure to multiple disasters was associated with a relative decrease in a mental health index score compared to baseline, whereas exposure to a single disaster was not associated with a decline in mental health scores. There was evidence of effect modification by employment status. Unemployed individuals had evidence of moderate reduction in scores when exposed to a single disaster. Interpretation of the results, findings suggest that repeat exposure to disasters is associated with worsening mental health outcomes. As extreme weather events increase, these findings highlight the need for greater attention on climate change action and mental health intervention targeting impacted populations. I just found it really fascinating, basically because, and I'll show you the post on my X feed. It's from, again, Matt Lanza, who posted it. And his post was apropos of nothing whatsoever. Here's a study published in the Lancet that shows repeated exposure to disasters is associated with worsening mental health outcomes. Any event, again, I found it interesting because just another potential impact from a warming climate and climate change and such. And granted, this course is more on weather versus climate. I do find this fascinating study and something I'm sure is worth more research into this because there are so many potential impacts that can be attributed to extreme weather. And that, after all, is the subject of this class as well. So extreme weather events do cause stress. They do cause very stressful situations when you have to deal with tornadoes and floods and all of these kind of weather events. And the fact that we're hearing it communicated more and more too is the fact that we're more aware of these events happening in other parts of the country and other parts of the world. So I think that plays into it as well, that even though it may not impact us directly, we are more aware that these events are happening to other people and affecting other people's lives. So again, in a nutshell, I thought a very fascinating story, and I share this with you in this